Hi everyone, Amy here with amyswares, and today I'm going to make a fun critter encouragement card. I have this textures stencil. This is a 6x9. It's an older one from a Colorful Life Designs. I have 3 ink colors, Hot Tub, On the Lake, and Queen for a Day. They're all mini ink pads from Catherine Pooler. And here is a photo of the finished card to show you the direction that we're headed. So I have some cute little critters that I had previously colored and cut out, and some other pre-batched items that I'm going to combine with this stenciling. So I have my makeshift workstation here. This is an old, probably 25-year-old cake decorating turntable from Wilton. I apologize, I don't have a link for that because it's ancient. But that is a low-tack sticky mat on top of it from Altenew, and I'm using that to hold down both my piece of cardstock as well as this gorgeous stencil. I have some blending brushes here from Altenew. I'm going to use those to do some very simple ink blending in the background. Now I'm going to just work quickly through these 3 colors, but a word of caution: if you aren't going to use pixie spray, be more gentle than me, because in typical fashion I'm just being too rough, coming at it like a lumberjack and bending up the stencil. So just be mindful of the little pieces parts that may be jutting out, and don't be too rough with your blending, or use some pixie spray or something to hold it down and you should be fine. So I'm starting with the lightest colors, starting with the Hot Tub, then the On the Lake, and then ultimately Queen for a Day. And that Queen for a Day, as you can see, is the most dramatic. And I'm kind of working in areas of 3 as I go, just because I feel like that's a way to kind of evenly distribute colors, or design elements, is in sequence of 3. So once I'm done with that, I decide to pull out this stitched heart die from Catherine Pooler. I'm not entirely sure at this point where I want to go, but I know I want to fit it entirely on this panel. That's US A2 size, 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches. And then once I do this, I realize, like, I think I want to use the whole panel. I'm just going to pop up the heart. Now, as you saw in the photo, it may not have been that evident. When you see it in person, obviously the heart is going to stand up a little bit and be a little bit more noticeable. But if I were to do this again, I think I would emboss, like with a 3D embossing folder, either the heart or the background, just to give some further differentiation between the two. But like I said, in person, you can definitely see that it's got a cute little stitch heart on it. It's just not quite as evident in the pictures. Now I'm checking through my scrap folder first to see if I have a piece big enough, and I didn't. So I grabbed a full sheet. This is adhesive back foam. I will try and remember to link something similar on Amazon. But I'm just going to cut a chunk of this off and then run this through my die cutting machine. I have a Spellbinders Platinum 6, and then that will create a heart the exact same size as the heart that I ink blended on. And it will give it some dimension, and then also some kind of cool color if you look at it from the side. So I'm using some Barely Arts liquid glue, and I'm just going to put this down right directly on top of it. Another variation, you could offset it a little bit and have a little bit of a drop shadow. Here I have some simple strips. This is the Friendship stamp. I don't know if this is still available, but this is all Tailored Expressions. She has these genius storage boxes. This is such an amazing tool if you're a batching Betty like me, just to have a bunch of these components ready to go. So I picked a couple sentiments that were white heat embossed on black cardstock. I attached the panel down to a card base of US A2 size, 4 1/4 by 5.5. That's 120 pound accent opaque, and then you can see the heart is popped up. Once I remove the backer, you can see it attaches and nestles right back into that opening, and gives it kind of a fun design element. So initially I was thinking I was just going to use these sentiments, but then I thought, it's kind of plain and needs something else. So I decided to get my critter book out. Now, like my sentiment book, I also have a critter book. I have a bunch of stamped images that I pre-color and die cut out, or fussy cut out, and I'll pull that out here in a moment and show you. These pockets have little lips on the top that kind of help hold the things in. In my sentiment book, I have kind of just regular pockets because my sentiments tend to be bigger. So use whatever works for you. Again, I'll try and remember to link them below. But I get them from Amazon. They're just baseball card pocket sheets. And I have these super cute little cacti from My Favorite Things, if this is still available. You know the drill. I'll link it below if you expand and scroll down. But I'm figuring out which ones, in terms of the coloration, look the best with the colors that I ink blended. Now, obviously, they're not blues, so they're not going to be a perfect match, but there were some that were a little bit, I don't know, more subdued, I guess, in terms of the greens that I colored with. So I picked a couple of those. I'm going to use some foam tape. These are thin foam strips that I get from Amazon. That allowed me to pop up the sentiment, and then I can kind of just liquid glue and nestle the cute little cactus down into that sentiment strip. So that's what I'm going to do there, and then I will just liquid glue everything else for the inside of the card to continue the design. Now, another option, I could have taken that stencil and done some of the ink blending as well on the inside of the card to continue the design, but I opted to just do the little sentiment strip and the extra little cactus on the inside instead. But that is an option if you want to go that extra step. I'm trying not to drop this. I'm not always the most graceful, guys. I tend to drop things. Does that happen to you? You get liquid glue on something and then you just drop it all over your project? Yeah, that's me too. Anyway, I'm going to line this up in the center top, and then same thing, liquid glue, put this cute little cactus down. I'm going to lift that up just a little bit so I can nestle it down underneath that sentiment strip. But that's basically going to finish this design. So if you have, pre-made items like card bases and critters and sentiment strips and things like that, you can really save a lot of time and still create a custom card or play with a certain item, or maybe just create a background and then pull together a full card. But now I want to add a little bit of blingage. So, I'm going to pull out my card bling. This is from A Colorful Life Design. So just like the stencils, you can use my coupon AmyFan10 and save some cash if you want to shop. But there's over 100 colors of this gorgeous bling in the shop now. It comes in these little pouches that are labeled with the color. There's multiple different sizes, but they're flat back sequins. They kind of have a little lip on one side and a flat edge on the other, but no hole in the center. People always ask. I tend to do flat side down, ridge side up. That's just my preference. I like how it looks. I put those down in odd smattering across the composition, and that's going to finish the card. So if you enjoyed this, please do hit the thumbs up and consider subscribing. If you shop for anything at A Colorful Life Designs, do remember my coupon AmyFan10, and I will catch you next time. Oh, sorry, a little bonus content here if you're still here with me. I'm coming at a smudge that I put on the back of the card somehow with a sand eraser, and then I'm just using my my little custom stamp to put amyswares Handmade Lovelies on the back. So thank you so much for spending time with me. I hope you enjoyed this. I will catch you next time. Bye.